Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Nca&t Brilliancy. My name is Travis and I'm here to review BET's brand new series, The Quad, starring Nca&t Rose. So I don't remember what I was watching. I think it might have been the New Edition store, which was great by the way, but I did not do a review on it. And I saw that they had a new show debuting called The Quad, and it was about a fictional HBCU, which is a historically black college and university in Atlanta, Georgia, named Georgia A&M University. And I said, oh, that looks like my life, so I might need to watch that. For those who don't know, I went to a historically black college representing, since I'm doing the video, shout out to Winston-Salem State University. And I thought, you know, maybe I'll watch it. Maybe there'll be some things that I can relate to, and you know, maybe it'll be a new show that I can review. So I just finished watching it, the first episode. Side note, I'm guessing BET, every time they do a new series, they start it off like as a movie and do like an hour-and-a-half long episode and then do regular episodes after that. So that's how this one was. It was an hour-and-a-half. And it pretty much, I guess, just set up all the drama that's going to take place throughout the entire season. Introduce you to, I guess, all the main players. And just pretty much set the tone for how the season is going to be. And I gotta be honest, you know, based on this first episode, I'm definitely going to continue to watch. I hope I have enough interest to continue to review it, but I'm definitely going to continue to watch it just because there are things that I can identify with having gone to an HBCU. I was in the band. I played alto sax. No, I didn't play alto sax. I played tenor saxophone first for a year, and then I became a drum major for the next 2 years, and I was a head drum major as well. I also pledged while I was there. So, you know, all those things are the things that really make going to a black college fun. You know, more people come to see the band than they do the football team, to be honest with you. So, and this fictional school is kind of like that. So let's just go through some of the people that are in the show, just so you kind of get an idea. Like I said, it stars Nca&t Rose, and she plays Dr. Eva Fletcher. So let me just go through the people, and then we'll kind of talk about each character and the setup that happened during the show. So we have Nca&t Rose, like I said. We also have Jasmine Guy, who was on A Different World, and she plays Ella Grace Caldwell. And I believe she's a professor at the school. Everybody else in the school, I don't know their names. I've seen one of them once, but everybody else seems to be maybe an up-and-coming actor, actress, somebody who, you know, finally got their big break with this TV show. Because I haven't seen them on anything else, so I don't know what they've done, nor do I know their real names. The only other person that I saw on the show whose name I knew was Demetria McKinney, and I don't think her role is going to be that large. So as far as the characters are concerned, the show is primarily about Nca&t Rose's character, which is Dr. Fletcher. She is the new president for GAMU, the Georgia A&M University, and it's pretty much the trials and tribulations that she is going through in this new position. So she's the main character, but you have all these other characters who are all related to the storyline for the show. Dr. Fletcher has a daughter named Sydney, and she's also still married to her husband, Derek Fletcher. However, we don't find out. Oh, also, this is spoilers. So if you haven't watched the first episode, don't bother watching my review because I'm going to spoil everything that happened and probably give away stuff I'm not supposed to. So if you haven't watched the first episode, don't watch. Don't watch this. Watch that first episode. Go to BET.com, watch it on there, and then come back and watch this review. So you got Eva, Derek, and Sydney. Eva and Derek are no longer together, and we find out later why, which I'll get into later. Sydney, they're from Connecticut. Gotta say that. The show starts off with us seeing Dr. Fletcher having really, not a breakdown, but it's obvious that she's been trying to get a job and it's not really working. Her husband Derek tells her that she has by the end of the month to move out, and she ends up getting this job as the new president of GAMU. She's also the first woman president of the college, which causes its own set of issues. Sydney, her daughter, does not want to go to Atlanta with her, but ends up going and enrolling in the school as well. Sydney's roommate is a white girl named, forgot her name that quick, Madison. We don't really get a lot of backstory on Madison, so we'll just skip over her. Another main character that we got introduced to was a boy by the name of Cedric. Cedric is from Chicago, and his mother, fearful of all the violence that's going on in Chicago, she was played by Demetria McKinney, she sends him to GAMU instead of the school that he got into in Chicago. Cedric's roommate's name is Bryce. Bryce is a guy, kind of straightforward guy. We didn't get a lot of information on him either, but he seems to have his head on his shoulders. He's really invested in his school, and he has a lot of knowledge about GAMU's history and tradition. and he's really happy to be there. He knows a lot about the school, so they're kind of polar opposites in a sense. But yeah, Cedric is also a up and coming rapper. He's really big on trying to make it into the music game. So that was mostly what we spent the first episode finding out about him, is just like his love for music and all of that. The kind of tipping point for Cedric's mother that sent him to Atlanta was there was a shooting at a nightclub that Cedric and his girlfriend Chantal were at. And during the shooting, Chantal happened to see who the shooter was. So that comes up later in the episode. Other key players as far as the staff are concerned at GAMU is Dr. Diamond. Dr. Diamond is the band director. There is Coach Hardwick, who is the football coach. You have Noni, who is a incoming freshman, and you have Ebony, who are incoming freshmen. And both Noni and Ebony want to be in the band. They both play saxophone. And we get introduced to Bo John, who is a white football player who gets recruited to come to GAMU. Who else? Then there's a guy named Clayton. He's a something. I don't know what he does. He does something at the school. And I think those are the main people that we're going to talk about today. So a lot of the events, like I was saying, happen in this first episode. One thing that we kind of see is going to be that we're going to be dealing with throughout the season is the fact that the men who work at the school, they're not happy that there's a woman leading the school. And the men in particular that I'm talking about are Dr. Diamond, the band director, and Clayton, whatever his name is, whatever he does. They are kind of conspiring to sabotage her and take her down and pretty much, get rid of her, because the school is not, like, they're not doing well financially, and she's coming in saying that she's going to help cut 10% of the budget. But one thing that the school is excelling in is their band program. The football team sucks, who is headed by, like I said, Coach Hardwick, but they suck. That's why they go and recruit Bo to come and help the football team. The band is bringing in a lot of money. The band is, let me say this. As a former HBCU band member, saxophone player, and drum major, most of that wasn't realistic. And granted, I know it's TV, but I just gotta, say it's not realistic. Now, the one thing that is realistic for certain schools was the hazing that happened in the show. So Noni and Ebony are freshmen, which they were calling scrubs, and they have to kind of like compete to even be in the band, almost like an audition. Almost kind of like if you've seen Drumline, how they had to, like, Nick Cannon's character had to become a P1 or a P2 or whatever. It's kind of like that. So Noni is very informed about the history of the band, the history of Dr. Diamond, and she just seems like she's going to be the shoe-in, and she also seems to be a great saxophonist. But Ebony ends up making the band instead of Noni. Well, later in the episode, Ebony ends up getting hazed. Now, side note, hazing is something that happens in a lot of band organizations. It's also something that happens in a lot of fraternity and sorority organizations. Now, my fraternity is a non-hazing organization, and my band is a non-hazing organization. So, yeah. But she gets hazed as a freshman and ends up in serious condition and in the hospital, in critical condition. Like I said, Dr. Diamond and Dr. Fletcher, they're against each other, and Dr. Fletcher really just wants the best for the school, whereas Dr. Diamond feels like she's coming in and invading his territory. So he's trying to make sure that he and Clayton can do whatever they can to make sure that they get her out of it. Noni is the only main character who really knows what happened to Ebony and knows that it wasn't, because what happens is the head drum major, who's a butthole, he says that the reason why Noni ended up in critical condition was because she had a misstep during learning some choreography and she just gashed her head wide open. But we all know it's because she was being hazed and she was getting that tail whooped. Noni is the only one who knows the truth, and when she goes to Dr. Fletcher about it, Dr. Fletcher, uses that as her motivation to get him out. But he gets to Noni first and says, okay, you keep your mouth shut, you can be in the band. And since that's what she really wants, that's what ends up happening. As a drum major, I ain't haze nobody. Anybody got time for that. My school wasn't about that life. We came in, we played our music, we had a good time. We weren't doing all that hazing. Now, there's another school down the street from mine that I can't say the same for. But my school, we weren't doing all that kind of stuff. We also find out later in the episode why Dr. Fletcher and her husband split. It's because Dr. Fletcher ended up having an affair with a younger guy by the name of Six Pack. That's his nickname, I guess, that she gave him. But his real name was it Brian? Brian Jones? Brian King? I think his name is Brian. I don't know. Six Pack was what he was referred to the majority of the episode. So she ended up having an affair with him, and I guess the husband found out about it, and that's why they split, and he was pretty much kicking her out. But Dr. Fletcher didn't realize that Six Pack had transferred. Six Pack is in grad school. Six Pack transferred down to the school that she's in because he was in Connecticut. So now he's in the same town as her, and she ends up sleeping with him again. I guess it's like that whole, when you got something good and you see it, and it's like, you know, you're vulnerable. So he just kind of took advantage of that vulnerability. And she's trying to tell him that, you know, he needs to transfer back out, that they need to stop doing whatever it is they're doing. But I'm like, I mean, you was real stupid for sleeping with him. But, you know, she's a flawed character. Obviously, we don't want to paint her like she's perfect. So Dr. Fletcher is definitely flawed, as all of them are. Her daughter is absolutely out of control. Sydney, the daughter, was at a frat party. That frat is the same frat that Dr. Diamond and the other guy belonged to. So some of the younger bros sent Dr. Diamond and that guy pictures of Sydney because she was playing strip poker or something like that. So they're now going to use those pictures to try to take her down. Take Dr. Fletcher down. When Dr. Fletcher finds out about the whole hazing incident, she is determined to kind of put Dr. Diamond in his place because she's realizing that he's kind of a loose cannon. He's allowed to do whatever he wants to do just because of the amount of money that he brings into the school. So she ends up getting together all the trustees of the school to form a new policy about bullying and hazing and all of that kind of stuff, and she gets it implemented. So he's now trying to figure out something else to do, and that's when he talks to the other guy, and they decide they're going to use the pictures to try to take her down now. Later, towards the very end of the episode, we're kind of midway through, Cedric's girlfriend Chantal comes down from Chicago, and she just says she's coming down there because she misses her man. But we know that something's up because, like I said, she saw the man who killed the guy in the club, and at the beginning of the episode he said, "Go find that whore." He said that, so we know something's up that made her come down to Atlanta. Well, anyway, at the end of the episode they all go to this rap concert that's being put on by an artist who's from Chicago, and Chantal is there, and then she ends up missing. And at the end of the episode, we find out Chantal has been murdered, and they're charging Cedric with that murder, but Cedric didn't have anything to do with it, and we know that as audience members. So, you know, number one, rest in peace to Chantal. She only got one episode, but, you know, hopefully she gets another job. And I think pretty much that is everything that was important in this episode that's going to, you know, help propel the rest of this season. We're going to have to deal with Fletcher trying to, you know, make her mark as the school's new president while she has these people who are against her. The football team looks like things may be looking up since they've added Bo to the mix. And lucky for Dr. Fletcher, she has Coach Hardwick and Ella Grace, who's played by Jasmine Guy, as her allies to kind of be there to help her through everything that she's going through. We're having to deal with Sydney and Madison, Noni and Ebony and their issues, as well as Cedric and his roommate Bryce. So I'm assuming those are going to be the main characters that we follow this season, and I hope they don't add any more because that alone was a lot to keep up with. The episode was almost too long. I kind of wish it was an hour, but, you know, I'm glad the rest of them aren't going to be that long, and I'm hoping that they're no longer than an hour. I don't even know if I can handle an hour, but I hope they're not longer than that. But I'm definitely going to continue watching. If you have an interest in what college life might be about, I would say check out the show. As far as production-wise, the show is made very well. It didn't seem low budget. I mean, I thought they put a lot of time and effort into it. Granted, some stuff is not believable, but, you know, that's television, especially that band performance. I didn't understand why the band was out on this grassy knoll during a full field show for, like, the Meet the Band type event. I mean, that didn't make any sense to me because when we did our Meet the Band, we was in t-shirts and shorts because it was hot in August. And I know it's even hotter in Georgia in August. But nonetheless, that is my review, my all over the place review for BET's new series, The Quad, Season 1, Episode 1. Be sure you rate, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing y'all really soon.